Now, some of the Army's most historic units will be scrapped and others merged as the Defence Secretary looks to cut troop numbers by 20,000. Philip Hammond said in a speech today that more reservists, like the Territorial Army, would help fill those gaps. But one former general has told this programme he doubts the Ministry of Defence can recruit enough in time. Carl Dinnan reports.
The Army Regiment is unlike almost any other workforce. This is the 3rd Battalion, the Yorkshire Regiment, shortly before leaving for Afghanistan. They train together, they live together, and some of them die together. Today, Private Greg Stone of 3 Yorks was repatriated alongside Corporal Michael Thacker of the 1st Battalion, the Royal Welsh. This is why cutting regiments stirs such strong emotions. But the government has pledged to reduce the size of the army, and the Defence Secretary told me that means cutting units.
So you can't shrink the army by 20% without losing some units.
But so this isn't just going to be salami slicing, some units will go?
Some units will have to go, but we're very conscious of the importance of the ties to history and the importance of continuity in the army. We will be seeking wherever we can to protect regimental structures, but some battalions will have to be lost.
The army were somewhat sheltered from the last cuts, partly because of the Afghan campaign. The Navy and the Air Force bore the brunt. These, for example, are the remains of Britain's Harrier jump jets, retired early and sold to the United States, now in bits in the Arizona desert. The MOD has yet to say where the army will feel the pain, but some are already campaigning to say famous regimental names like the Queen's Dragoon Guards.
Amongst the old and bold of the regiment, it's just a feeling of disappointment and regret that, you know, there's a possibility we may go. Amongst the living regiment, I think there's a great deal of indignation and shock, frankly, having just completed a very successful tour, the 2nd tour of Afghanistan.
The MOD's plans will be announced in a few weeks' time, but the cuts are only one side of their equation. The plan here at the Ministry of Defence is to balance out that 20,000 cut in the regular army with a huge increase from 15,000 to 30,000 in the size of the reserve. And the MOD hope to achieve that by investing £1.8 billion in their equipment and training. Reservists have proved their worth in recent campaigns, but one former general has doubts about the government's ability to raise the number they want up from 15,000.
To double that number to 30,000 over that period is not going to be easy. I don't think anybody would claim that. One of the things that does worry me is that that will take time, and the cuts in the regular army will happen relatively quickly. And so I think we're going to see a bit of a mismatch between building the territorial and the reserves up whilst the regulars are being constrained and cut back.
So after Afghanistan, the army will become smaller. It will have more part-timers in it. And today the head of the army warned that many of the current warrior generation will be faced with redundancy.
Carl Dinnan reporting.